Look at the sheer scale of the Sydney cricket ground during the 2011 Border-Gavaskar tour. The Australian pace attack is ruthless, but the local crowds are even louder. Standing in the middle of this high-pressure cauldron is a 23-year-old Virat Kohli, struggling to survive his first tour. Poked and prodded by constant insults from the boundary ropes, the young batsman cracks. He turns to the hostile spectators and flips them the middle finger, a reaction that was splashed across the front page of every Australian newspaper the next morning. 12 years later, at the Wankhede Stadium, a very different player walks off the pitch. Calm, composed, and universally respected, he has just scored his 50th one-day international century, surpassing Sachin Tendulkar's long-standing record. The gap between that volatile rookie in Sydney and the laser-focused veteran in Mumbai is the story of a player who wasn't born a perfect athlete.
He built himself into one through a systematic cycle of failure and radical adaptation. The foundation of his competitive engine traces back to a Delhi Ranji trophy match in December 2006. At 3 a.m., midway through the contest, his father passed away from a sudden stroke. In a single night, the teenager lost his biggest supporter and the structural backbone of his professional dreams. Hours later, his Delhi state team was facing an imminent defeat. Instead of staying home to grieve, the 18-year-old Kohli returned to the stadium and played a gritty 90-run innings to save the match, only leaving for his father's funeral pyre once he was dismissed. That night supplied him with a relentless competitive intensity. But as he would soon discover, raw emotional drive without strict physical and technical discipline is a brittle weapon at the highest levels of international cricket. Early success can easily hide underlying flaws. Lifting the Under-19 World Cup trophy proved he had immense natural talent, allowing him to navigate his early 20s on raw instinct alone. By the 2012 IPL season, that complacency caught up with him. He was indulging in late-night parties and a poor diet, becoming noticeably sluggish. He managed barely 364 runs across the tournament, and his team failed to reach the playoffs. The breaking point happened after the season ended. Catching his shirtless reflection in the mirror, he was struck by his own physical inadequacy. He saw a puffy, exhausted cricketer who was falling far short of the athletic standards required to dominate the sport. He tore up his routine the next morning. Out went the gluten, dairy, and junk food, replaced by measured, nutrient-dense meals. He abandoned standard gym routines for high-intensity Olympic weightlifting, heavy deadlifts, and punishing cardiovascular conditioning. This chart illustrates the direct mathematical result of that discipline. Look at the massive spike representing the 2016 IPL season. Operating with a lean, explosive new physique, he scored an astonishing 973 runs and blasted 4 centuries in a single tournament. That transformation gave him the physical capacity to maintain high-intensity focus over long periods, making his elite athleticism a central component of his performance. But physical fitness cannot cover up mechanical flaws. During the 2014 tour of England, his batting technique was subjected to a brutal public dismantling. James Anderson exploited a specific technical vulnerability. By consistently bowling a precise line just outside off stump, Anderson forced Kohli to reach away from his body, turning him into a walking wicket who averaged barely 13 runs across the series.
Facing intense self-doubt, Kohli retreated to the indoor nets in Mumbai. He brought in his childhood idol, Sachin Tendulkar, to help him completely deconstruct and rebuild his batting methodology. He widened his base, took a pronounced forward stride to meet the ball early, and practiced playing with soft hands. These changes kept his bat close to his body, allowing him to effectively neutralize swinging deliveries. The payoff was immediate. Returning to Australia just months later, he used his tightened technique to smash 4 centuries against the home side, including back-to-back hundreds at the Adelaide Oval. In Australia, he proved he could abandon his natural attacking instincts and still control the match through pure technical precision. Elevated to full-time test captain, he surveyed the national dressing room and realized a harsh truth. India's historical strategy of relying on spin-friendly home pitches made the team ineffective on fast, bouncy tracks overseas. He weaponized his personal discipline to fix the system.
He made the grueling yo-yo endurance test a non-negotiable metric for national selection. If a player couldn't hit the baseline fitness score, they were dropped, regardless of their reputation. With a fitter roster, he restructured the team's identity. He abandoned the safety net of an extra batsman and deployed an aggressive five-bowler philosophy centered entirely around high-velocity pace. He backed a new breed of fast bowlers, turning unorthodox talents like Jasprit Bumrah into the primary enforcers of this high-velocity bowling attack. Alongside veterans like Mohammad Shami, this pace battery developed into the most formidable bowling attack in modern cricket. His greatest strategic achievement was replacing a passive sporting culture with a system built on his own uncompromising discipline.
After scoring 100 under the lights of Eden Gardens in late 2019, his meticulously calibrated run-scoring machinery suddenly stopped working. This chart tracks his heaviest burden. For 1,023 days, the world's premier batsman couldn't reach an international century. The scrutiny became suffocating. The struggles triggered political isolation. Amidst intense friction over his leadership, he stepped down as captain, losing the authority he built over years. The mental toll was so severe that he made a choice he hadn't made since he was a child. He dropped his bat. For an entire month, he stepped completely away from the sport to distance himself from the pressure. He had built a perfect physical and technical machine, yet it couldn't fire until he repaired the psychological pressure at the core. He returned to the pitch with total mental clarity. Just weeks after ending his drought, he walked into a collapsing run chase against Pakistan at the packed Melbourne cricket ground, securing a victory that established his return to form. That mental reset led to a final crescendo of achievements, shattering the ODI century record, claiming an IPL title for Bengaluru, and anchoring the lineup to win the 2024 T20 World Cup. Look at the athlete who emerges from this timeline. He is entirely unrecognizable from the volatile rookie flipping off crowds in Sydney. Kohli's career serves as a blueprint for professional reinvention, an exhausting cycle of looking in the mirror, tearing down flaws, and rebuilding stronger after every single failure.